And there we have it. I mean, you saw the boys are grooving out. You know, next time I'll make sure get the elbows in there. Fall. Did you get to hear some music too?
I did. My music segment was I was straight chilling, man. I was vibing with some of the songs. I didn't get as much EDM as Shio got. I was hoping for some more EDM, but I got one or two EDM songs in there. I'm excited.
Not too bad. But ladies and gents, welcome back. Here's a nice little look at some of the moments if you missed game 2 here. Catching back up, Tayson was just on a tear. I mean, Fallout said it. He's keeping his eye closely on this player right here. Here's Waze, though, your player that won the actual game 2. Utilizing that shockwave, right? Take that high ground and just body players towards the end. But it was the storm that ends up wrapping up Tayson here. So again, welcome back, ladies and gents. It's Monster D-Face. It's Fallout here, and the games are unfolding.
Yeah, and honestly, from you blink and you missed it. From 2 elims to 5 elims and a victory royale for Waze. A strong finish as he was able to hold that high ground, pick up elim after elim. I don't know what happened from Tayson's perspective, as I don't think there was a shockwave launcher or anything of the likes that would have knocked him out of storm, but perhaps just got kind of caught up. But we are jumping in to our 3rd game of the broadcast. We are now 2 or 3 matches in, depending on some of the players here, into this. 10 matches total to be played. 500 players trying to make it to the top 100 to qualify for the grand finals tomorrow.
That's right, Fortnite fam. And one player that I do want to see pop off, it's a Nas from Becoming Legends up in the right-hand corner there. He is such a lord when it comes down to Fortnite and just what he does on the scene here. But it's Tommy's who's going to the Authority. Players that we know have been landing at the Authority have been Benji Fishy, players like Hardfine. So this is a battle for the grappler here.
That's exactly right. Everyone wants that drum gun and the grappler, but it looks like it's going to be Tomsy that starts with first elim. Finally connects after that for some nice loot on some AI. Always nice to get some additional loot as well, as we're going to watch some Authority gameplay unfold with Tomsy.
Yeah, and he is. He's trying to get himself situated here. Great little early game start for him. Extra shields off the bat, free elim. Talk about a well-rounded and full loadout. Not to mention now he's going to be able to get this henchman chest here. Maybe a big clutch, and look at what's going to fall out of it. Some legendary loadout. Yes, you got to appreciate that.
That is a solid start for Tomsy. You got to think he's looking well from a loot perspective, very well kitted. One of the few Welshmen, he's from Wales, that's competing in this tournament today. So we'll see what he can do in his debut on stream, at least. It's Tomsy.
That's right. Remember this opens format, guys. It's top 500 that move on. So you might be wondering, where's all these new names coming from? It's people getting their first stab at competitive Fortnite here in the major stage. Looking to qualify themselves through top 100, move on to grand finals tomorrow. Fallout and I will be calling the action here, so we're covering the EU division. Later on today is NA East with Bala, TW, and Shio Wager, so everything's being covered.
Yep, that's exactly right. And as a Greek, I got to show some love for EU holding it down. Although I don't see any Greeks competing today, but shout out to my man Sonis if he's out there watching, competitive Fortnite player from Greece. Tomsy, who we were just watching minutes ago, has played in FNCS before, Season 2, Week 2, and has played obviously a bunch of Contender Cash Cups, Champion Trio Cash Cups as well. So we'll see what Tomsy can do if he can continue to make his way through. But Anas, as mentioned, is now looking to fight against a Titan in Wolfshy.
I'm curious, is this the credible Wolfies? I think so. Just look at the points right there. Yep. He is heavy right now, 133. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is the big dog himself, the big wolf. Here he is, though. Anas coming in. He doesn't care who you are. Wolfies doesn't care how good you think you are. He wants to take this fight. The shockwave launch is going to push him out, though. A little bit of a shield crack here. And all of a sudden, Wolfie has to run. He hits the explosion on the way out, though. And that's going to put him in a very peculiar situation here. He's going to be forced to jump to the vault right now. Okay, and has to pop this medkit as well.
And Anas is going to continue to hunt. Wolf is going to get some insights on Anas, but is going to be forced to fight this down 100 shields. So a rough situation for Wolf. Wolf sees as he's actually going to leverage that shotgun grenade launcher to survive for now. But you got to wonder, he's almost delaying the inevitable. Here comes the Elim. That's going to be all she wrote. Almost gets the vault, almost gets all the loot that was needed. But a huge play for Anas, and to follow all of Kit's mythic items. That is huge.
Man, that's so rough. So he was forced to go into the vault, really looking or hoping to pick up some chug splashes to bounce him in the game. I think that was his only play to make. It was either that or leave everything behind. He went for the riskier play of the Vulcan. The gamble did not pay off. But Anas, someone who is, in good hands now with the loot here, I think he's going to be looking strong to take this game away.
Yep, that's exactly right. Huge plays for Anas as we see him backing out slowly from caddy corner on screen didn't seem highly contended. For those who are maybe watching for the first time in recent seasons, all those arrows on the map are AI. Of course, are not actual players. So keep that in mind as we're now on board with Wavy Scrib. Over from one of our other mythic POIs, it's the Fortilla, or the Fortia, depending on what part of the world you're from.
Yeah, it's just those neutral arrows there that let you know what the AI are. And little note right there, Benji Fishy just won in another lobby. So great to see Benji finally catching his footing. The first time we showed him here on the channel, I mean, he got a headshot sniped. I know it's a big letdown for the most of us, but hey, he's still catching his footing here. So if he can get top 100, he'll be in the grand finals tomorrow. There's no doubt that he has the skills to do so. Just Scrib though, I'll line up the grenades, the perfect nades. These are looking like some pretty good nades. Yes, he's gonna find his mark. One of them in the 2. That's gonna be a free knock right there for him, or free elim.
Jeez, well-placed grenades in order to honor his legacy. I'm going to also say Kobe grenades come through. Well done, and a good elim picked up. But now he wants to go see if he can secure that loot. Huge play to start things off for Scrib. Gets a nice elim to his name and 5 points to follow. And he'll continue to make his way through. I think that's the bottomless chug jug. Yes, it is. That's a big pickup.
This is a great find. I mean, bottomless chug jug is, you know, even better in team-based. Yeah, I was gonna say it's really good in team-based game modes. In solo, you know, 15 seconds by yourself, no one holds your walls. It can get a little bit dicey, but hey, it's still great that it allows you to have a little bit more buffer and some infinite heals. So we'll see how it ends up playing in his favor. More importantly, he does pick up the mythic assault rifle right there, the burst.
Yep, and there's two trains of thought here. You have the mythic items, you want to just back out and stay alive, or you have the mythic items, you have an advantage over anyone else that's lingering over at the Fortilla here, and I think he's going for the latter as he recognizes a good opportunity to third party. Great burst shot's going to come through, and you wonder, are those burst shots going to help him connect for an elim, or is he just helping Chris get an elimination on Janice instead?
Yeah, this is a big moment for him here to see if he can walk away or squeeze away a free elim. Like you did mention, the thing about that chug jug, they're replenishing and stuff like that. He can chill in the zone. He's basically got a free 100 pot right there. Let's see how that plays out. So he's in no rush, especially with it favoring him right now. But all right, he's gonna make the executive decision to bounce on out of here. No need to stick around if these guys are gonna be in a stalemate. Remember, every second that he's not farming and stuff like that, he's falling behind in the grand scale of things. He's off to such a phenomenal start. You wouldn't want to lose your lead.
Yep, that is very true. Only has a charged shotgun, green charged shotgun with 9 shotgun shells, so doesn't have a ton, you know, of loot to his name just yet in terms of overall resources. He's going to go try and find some more ammo, try and mat up as much as he can. Scrib the CEO of rotations right now. Of course, with that chug is in zone, but that's a great call out that you can leverage that bottomless chug jug for lingering, maybe being a little bit of a stormtrooper or a warrior in the storm as you're trying to pick up some limbs on the edge of the ring.
Here's Vaptari, who's giving a little tribute to Kiriyashi. You can see the Achi at the end of the name there. Like I said, Kiriyashi's really been growing as far as his competitive real estate goes, raising stock as a professional player on the scene, someone who's absolutely deadly. I hope to see him make it to the grand finals today. We'll be rooting for him, but hold up. We got both perspectives here from Vaptar and Tomji here. Tune in with Vaptar's side, though. He's got that harpoon.
For a cheeky harpoon grab. All right, I see you there. You want the fight, you want the action. But now it looks like they're both just going to reset, so it looked like a fight. Now it's going to be actually Tomzi rotating into another player. Dangerous territory. It's going to be ADN from Athletics.
Uh-oh, and then Vaptar sees that. Yeah, he's able to jump right into it. He wants a piece of the action. He recognizes, hey, this guy's on a run for a reason right now. He grabs the wall, looking for the control. He's not going to find it here. But wait a second. He's pushing in. He gives up. Okay, this is going a little longer than we'd probably expect right now. I don't know who's going to win this, both of which have been tagged at some dangerously low health. Vaptar doesn't have any heals, though. Now it's fair game.
It is. Yeah, it went from Tomzi being in a horrible position to exactly even. Nice shot to kind of thwart the bleeding or the wound for Tomzi. And it looks like ADN of Athletics is just like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I started that. I'm going to get these two to eliminate each other. I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to third party this fight other than from afar. Meanwhile, Steelix is starting to slowly approach. A few other players on the rotation. This is third party territory in these mid-game rotations. This is something where you got to be very, very cautious for.
Yeah, one thing to mention, guys, there are so many players here. The zone is forcing everyone up, so you can see how many are lingering nearby. The thing about this section of the map is it's heavily wooded, right? Although it most of it's underwater right now. That the trees block the line of sight, so you can be closer to players than you realize. Danger can be so close. You never quite know. Here's ADN, who's jumping back into the action, though. Wants a piece of Tomzy.
Gosh.
Tomzy, though, expending or exhausting his heals now. Kind of forced to at this point. I think he found bandages right here at the chest.
I think he found bandages, and he connected for a sniper shot to stop the push. Again, to stop the bleed, just surviving. Can he hit the auto reload here? And now Tomzy with ADN right in front of him. Here comes the box fight. And he gets trapped. And he gets tagged up quite a bit in the start here. Not done yet. ADN is looking for the elim, is playing with such aggression. Tomzy in a very, very difficult position here. Has one more opportunity to heal if he can.
Good play by him to stay kind of flexible here and try to get away. It's not looking too good, though. 3 HP. He needs this one huge shot. It's all in the hands of the charge, and no, he's not going to be able to find it. It's not going to be able to connect. ADN is going to come out on top here. Nice find for him, too. He desperately needed some of those materials, as you can see. Kind of shambles, or talk about approaching the mid-game situation. You'd hope to have a lot more than this here.
Yeah, that's true. One thing to point out, opted not to grab the gold sniper, instead going for floppers and minis. So, I talked about it right before we went to break, but again, the importance right now of heals in late game are being prioritized over snipers. Not really, you don't see a whole lot of sniper action in mid to late game as you have in maybe previous seasons.
Yep, that is true. But hey, he's got the 4 crash pads, which is pretty good. Look at how many players are going up for this natural height here. Here's the man of the hour. The one that I really want to see is Kiriashi, who's in this lobby. We don't know what's his run been like so far as his perspective goes, but the points tell me he's doing pretty good here. And you can see why. He's jumping into a box. It's up against C1 Suto here, who's on the run. I would run too if I was coming across this guy. I don't blame him. Is he going to hunt? Yes, he is. He sets up the pad for the Lolo, and now he's cutting right into it. So this is not one he's going to let get away.
That's exactly right. Goes for the quick pad and plays with aggression. Kiriaki, one of the top 20 players in Europe right now in my eyes, the Russian. Very mechanically gifted, and he wants blood. Looking for the elimination, trying to get the box fight, trying to force the box fight, and he might be able to get it here. Look at him playing with such aggression. Perfect elimination coming through from Kiriaki. Connects for a headshot. Doesn't even take any damage at all there. Well played from Kiriachi, and he's not done yet.
And that's the thing. One thing to note, guys, he's a 60 ping player, believe it or not.
Wow.
Just a little bit of history for him. He typically shows up to boot camps in the EU scene, whether it be the cooler station or, just anywhere he can get his hands on. But when he's on LAN, when he's on 0 ping, this guy does not play. I don't know what settings he's playing under right now, but regardless of what, just phenomenal player. Crazy aggressive when it comes down to when he wants to take the fight, he's going to take it. He's probably going to come out on top. It's all a mental game at the highest levels of Fortnite. And he's quick on reading players.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Representing Virtus Pro, one of the most tenured and storied organizations in all of esports, let alone EU esports, alongside Jamside. I believe they have one other on the Virtus Pro roster. I think Jamside's still on VP. Big shout out to Virtus Pro, supporting the Fortnite scene. Meanwhile, we're going to flip over to another organization. It's Athletics, ADN, one of our 2 qualifiers of Athletics, of course, alongside Lanouf, who took first place in his stacked heat number 1. A first place finish is a statement finish in my eyes. I'm not sure where Lanouf currently stands in standings overall, now in round 2, but definitely made a statement yesterday against every top player, every top hitter in EU in heat number 1.
That is right. Here's a look at Scrib we saw a little bit of earlier, who's kind of situated up with some pretty good loot. See Scarlet out in the distance. Inevitable Prune, who's already picked up a Victory Royale today. EDN, Vortexers, Superi. I don't know who only W King is, but I can assume that he's doing just that. Probably just fighting players trying to get by on today. Not sure if that's a sound strategy. Here's EDN, though. A bit of a threat level rising as someone's going to base up near him. Remember, ladies and gents, there blank names there do happen occasionally here in the replay client. It isn't perfect, but regardless, you can put respect on any player has made it this far. Top 500 was no easy feat. I mean, we know that there's some top tier dogs out there who could not qualify. I think Aqua being one of them. We got a small confirmation of earlier. I'd love to know, though, if there's anyone out there that you thought was going to pull through that didn't. Maybe some upsets. Fill us in. Give us a little bit of context so we know who to root on for next time. Or who not to look out for that matter. ADN, though, jumping in the box.
Here comes the box fight and the push. It's ADN against Vortexers for now, but there are so many more people in this party. It is a 4-person party, 4-way fight as it currently stands. And it looks like Vortexers is the first to get eliminated, and then there was 3. Down goes the dominoes one by one as Vortexers is the first. ADN now against 2 others in this box fight. Scrib looming in the distance.
This is a tough situation to be in. Love the drone shots of this party. This kind of fight going down now. Give you guys a little bit of insight on how dangerous it is to step out right now. There's a player on his layer, a player above him, and one just on the other side of the wall. Showing you guys that you never quite know where the threat is, especially when people opt to sit still and wait to punish with that big charge shot. ADN, though, is going to secure some of the floppers there and back up using the excess of materials as well. He's giving himself a nice open area to get to the next safety zone. You got to look at Teak down at the bottom here. He's made a few end games today already. Another veteran on the EU scene in space.
That's for sure. He's been doing it for a long time from Poland alongside Kami. Meanwhile, back on with ADN. Is he currently still representing that gold burst? Speaking of bursts, we have the mythic burst looming. I think that is Scrib, who does have the mythic burst as well as the mythic Ocean's Bottomless Chug Jug coming from Ocean's loot. And you see Scrib on screen as well. I think it was Scrib that got it earlier, if I remember correctly.
Yep, that is indeed. But here's the moment where things do tend to slow down as we approach into zone 4. Remember, the closer it is to the zone reveal, the more likely players are to just kind of hang out, allow things to marinate for a little bit, right? Really absorb the settings here. The zone's going to pull Eastern here, though, Fallout.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, watching a competitive Fortnite game is like a roller coaster. You know, it starts with the crazy drop on the early game, and a lot of fights early as people contest different areas. We also are seeing a quick highlight here on screen from Snap, I believe. But then it kind of evens out, mellow keeled as people are getting their early rotations. And then mid game it picks up again as people are fighting each other, third partying in rotation, and now it's kind of slowing down as we're heading to late game, and then it gets absolutely nuts with the final drop of the roller coaster in our late game. Expect that to start heating up here as the roller coaster is getting going. We're currently on board with ADN still and get a nice little overhead view of the rest of the lobby. Inevitable Prune, our winner from 2 games ago, still in it.
What you guys just witnessed was a beautiful rotate from ADN. Absolutely clean with the crash pads there, saving so much material. He padded from one spot to the next, set up the base, and then effectively hit the next location before parking up right now. Shows you guys, you gotta get your practice in with those crash pads. They can be super clutch. As inconsistent as they are on the terrain, once you learn the way of the land with them, they're really, really good, even in a pinch situation like this. They're flexible, right? You can use them to get into boxes and stuff like that, so pretty beast.
That's exactly right. You know, it's been nice, good mobility. It's been kind of refreshing, the crash pads. It is, you know, it is what it is in current meta. But an opportunity at least to shake up some box fights is always welcomed in my eyes. Otherwise, you know, a lot of box fights can linger for quite some time. Crash pads obviously changed that up quite a bit. So at least from a spectating perspective, it's been welcome.
A little bit of a situation going down right here. Podside from MCES trying to get some information here. He's looking up towards Scarlet, who's putting down some fire, and there's also fire going down behind him. Just showing you guys where the congestion's happening here. It's just on this western portion. The middle of the map completely clear right now. Whoever's got that prime positioning is A-okay, but everyone else is kind of rough. They're stacked right on top of one another. It's M10's Pepper, who's up top, now sitting up and over the majority of the field here.
We got Wakey again, and keep in mind Podesai we saw earlier from MCES, teammates with Andelix, one of the top players in EU right now in my eyes, also of MCES, both coming from France. Now we're on board with Wakey, though, of Godsent, the Swede, who we saw with a strong last game. He secured a top 4, top 5 finish last game and is currently sitting within top 100 of the leaderboards. We'll see how he can finish here.
Wait a second.
Quick show of the high ground here. It's Pepper with quite the high ground.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you noticed, but the Storm Surge has kicked in, so it's the first that we've seen here in the solo competition. As things are heating up, moving later into the competition, now players are taking it a little bit more slow. This player here is just above the damage threshold, so he should be okay. Pepper not going to be too much to worry. It's 2 enemies who have to go down now in order for this threat of the Storm Surge to disappear. What a rotate to make, though. This zone 6 is pulling all the way across the map, or sorry, the half in, half out right now is way across. Yes, Pepper is going to find himself a collection of launch pads here. He's going to break the ramp that's above it and then jump straight down onto it. Now he's got his lay of the pick right here. Or is he going to decide to kind of hit into big builds going on right now? Let's see. Everyone's moving across. There's Scully in this game. There's Teak.
I was just going to bring up the same thing. Scully is someone we who didn't qualify first time around yesterday, which was a bit of a surprise. And then qualified in Heat 2, but I think like top 200. So a little scary for the Englishman in Scully, but we know what he's capable of. Scully of Enterprise Gaming alongside the Enterprise crew, quite stacked roster in Fortnite with quite a few names. We'll see what Scully can do, but for now, still on board with Pepper as we're looking at this overhead view. Goncheto, two other names that we see on screen. Anas still alive. Keep in mind, Anas does have the Shockwave launcher. That's going to be a key person to keep an eye out for in this late game. He could win this if he can. And I think he hasn't been using it much, Monster, because he's trying to keep it a secret that he has it. You don't want to necessarily let everyone know that you do have the Shockwave launcher early on, because then you get hunted and you can get taken out quite easily. You get kind of beamed.
Yeah, you can absolutely become the focus point of the lobby there. And remember, Anas did battle Wolfies for the Shockwave launcher. He bested him over at the Vault there. If you're just tuning in, guys, this is game 3 here of the DreamHack solos. We're looking at the day, the top 500 to break into top 5, or the top 500 can break into top 100 for tomorrow's grand finals. A player that I did see in there, though, another one that I'm looking out for, like I said before, is Flick. Flick is dangerous once he gets his ball rolling. We saw him do some big things there. And Teak too. Teak, don't forget, he came 7th in a recent Benji Fishy solo cup. So you got to put some respect on some of these players that are notable. And as I mentioned, Teak gets absolutely bodied by ADM, who gets landed on here. And Podesai making the cut across the field as well right now. Storm Surge, still a thing. It's going to kick up again now. 7 players have to go down, Fallout. This is such a stacked lobby.
It is absolutely stacked in this late game. Now the fights are going to be forced here as the rotations come through, and 6 players are going to have to force fights in order to meet that Storm Surge requirement. On board with Podesai still, who is above it and just kind of chilling right now. No need to fight. Maybe try and pick up a lurking elimination on the rotation. Finds one, and actually I'm not sure if he has the intel, but his opponent in front of him is incredibly damaged. And meanwhile, looking at the top left of our screen here to try and keep an eye on other folks that are getting eliminated early in this lobby. It's a couple of key names. Scarlet gets taken out, and a few others.
One that I am kind of scared for is Kiriyashi, who's in the zone, who I think is going to fall, unfortunately, there. Oh, no, he comes crashing right out, so he just barely escapes there. No HP on him, but we're going to hop in with Podesai's perspective here, who's on the low ground in the back half. Someone's going to land in front of him. EDN, we know, is fully healthy. He's been having quite the rotate so far. Anas, though, still lingering around with that Shockwave launcher. Now secures height. That's right. Shockwave time easily as he come and approach endgame here. He's going to be looking to poise up and take some height. The crash pad's going to hop and bounce Podesai out of the map as well here for a second here. Now jumping back in. It's on the hunt. A lot of chaos going on here, but it's easy to follow when you have Anas just sitting up on high ground firing down.
That's exactly right. Now is the time to unlock that Shockwave launcher. Here comes the fight. Podesai going to get taken out on the flank by, it wasn't Flick, it was actually Ref's guard. Flick gets an elimination as well. Flick, and actually Ref guard is going to just build right on top alongside another as he's still alive in this scenario. It is an absolutely stacked late game. However, 12 players remain, and the Shockwave launcher is about to be unlocked.
There it is, and look at Anas just blazing down shots here. He's going to take out Flick on the storm line, and now it's time to start wrapping up the house here, cleaning up the house. 32 builds, so he's A-OK to continue to hold height here. All he has to do is continue to play in textbook and keep putting this pressure down, which is exactly what he's doing. He does not snag that one, but landing a shot here. Who's this on the backstorm? We don't know, but it's big shots that are going to connect. 112 from a distance. That's the power of the charge. You cannot avoid it once it gets going here. This Goncheto is on the run. ADN now looking to take some height. And someone sneaking up on a Nos Fallout.
That's exactly right. Using the charge shotgun effectively, which very wise. The Mythic charge shotgun does so much damage. I like his use of the charge shotgun. Now comes the shockwave just to get high ground and gonna try blowing people out of the circle, out of storm. There's one gonna connect for some damage, and he's actually able to make it back in. I believe he had the glider gun to be able to make it back in circle. So we'll see if he can stay alive though, as he is quite tagged up. Anas and 2 others alive in this one. He is down to 4 shockwave grenades remaining in his arsenal as Anas is trying to close this out.
There it is, just barely. He stays alive. He holds him out to the storm, masterfully and beautifully done. Building walls to allow the storm to do the hard work for him.
Well played, textbook from Anas, and that's exactly how you want to play that. He had to earn it. You can't just say he didn't. He had to take out Wolfie. He's one of the best players in Europe to earn himself Kit's Shockwave Launcher and Charged Shotgun. Held on to them, didn't make it known, kind of held his cards, if you will, until the very last 2 rotations, and then started to let them rip, used them wisely, held on to high ground, going to show how powerful the Shockwave Launcher is in current meta, plus high ground. You combine those 2 things, well, it's also easy to take high ground with the Shockwave Launcher. You're in a great spot.
That's right. Lucky for us, we do have a third person to jump on in here. It's Kelly. We saw all the action unfold.
Yeah, man, that was an incredible last few minutes that we saw there. And I believe we're actually going to pull up the replay real quick of Anas. If Monster and Fallout, you guys can kind of call the action once again as to why this high ground was giving him like everything that he needed.
Yeah, you can see here that mythic shotgun, the range that it can really cook up, and right there, 142. I called it as a 112 in the heat of the moment. Didn't even realize it was way more than that. That's devastating. You're talking 2 tiles out, and you can hold it. You see the meter on it. Once it cooks all the way to the top, you let that thing ring, it's going to do so much damage from downrange.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. Sorry, Fallout.
Sorry, yeah, I was just saying, that's even without a headshot. That's a body shot with the Mythic fully charged, 140, 150 damage. That is powerful. So I think he played that near perfect. Of course, with the Shockwave Launcher, we've just dissected that. But with the shotgun, just charging shots, waiting for one opportunity, even long range or mid range, you're going to connect for a lot of damage. You're going to pick up a few elims, which is exactly what we saw happen right there. Perfect play, textbook coming through from Anas.
I mean, not just picking up a few elims here, but Anas now with 2 victory royales. Let's actually take a quick look at the leaderboard before we hop into a quick break, everyone. First place is Kami FN, and then everyone, a big favorite. We got Mr. Savage, Reason, Castery, Snap Loves Grawl, and a bunch of names that you guys love and recognize. Any names that you expected to see here that you don't?
I'll tell you one that I did not expect to see. There's Chapix, who's swinging up on top. It's been a while since he really caught his footing, let alone in the solo kind of setting here. So good to see Chapix kind of stepping it up today.
And I believe Snap Loves Grawl is Snappy, someone you definitely are used to seeing in that top performance in Godsent alongside Wake. We've seen what he can do. A couple names to answer your question, Kelly. Benji Fishy, FaZe Mongrel. Obviously, some of the big names you'd be remiss not to mention. Not in that top 20 as it currently stands. I know Mongrel was in top 50. He's definitely in qualifying range. At the end of the day, all that matters, whether you get 100th or first, a really big chunk of what matters is if you can make it to tomorrow.
Yeah, and there's still a few games left. I think I see a few players with 6, even one player with 7 games played. So obviously we are reaching towards the later half of our competition here, but there's definitely a few players out there that have 4 or 5 or even 6 games to play in the next 90 minutes to hopefully make it up to the top 100. But before we get back into the action, everyone, we are going to take a quick break.